It's been a little over a year since SmallRig released its VB line of V-mount batteries, which rose to critical acclaim for providing a more consumer-friendly approach to the V-mount battery design while offering a host of modern connections. But what if I told you that I found a battery that does everything the SmallRig battery does at a fraction of the price? Introducing the K&F Concepts V-mount battery. This new V-mount battery from K&F Concepts is priced and designed to be one of the best value V-mount 99 watt-hour batteries in the space. But does it have what it takes to fight off the increasingly growing amount of competitors in the budget V-mount battery space and earn a spot in your camera bag? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the specs of the battery. While other brands like SmallRig offer their batteries in a variety of sizes, the K&F Concepts V-mount battery only comes in one size, and that's 99 watt-hours. They've done this for a reason, and that's because 99 watt-hours is legally the largest battery you can bring onto planes for flights in North America, and that's why it's the most popular size of V-mount battery. In terms of power and output, you really can't go wrong with the batteries in this space, as most of them provide very similar specifications. This battery provides 5,600 milliamps worth of power, which is enough to charge many cameras and phones multiple times over, and it charges at 14.8 volts, which is industry standard for these batteries. One thing that the K&F Concepts V-mount battery offers that some other V-mount batteries don't is bidirectional fast charging, meaning that the battery can fully discharge or charge from 0 to 100 in just a few hours, and in some cases less than 2. That's incredibly fast when it comes to V-mount batteries because of how much power they hold. Now let's talk about the build of the battery. Regarding the looks and the build of the K&F Concepts V-mount battery, we get some aspects that are familiar and some that are unique to this product. Let's start with the fact that the K&F Concepts V-mount battery delivers industry-standard charging and performance while being smaller and lighter than most of the competition, including the fact that it's smaller and lighter than most of the similarly spec'd batteries from SmallRig. The battery's exterior is covered with a faux carbon fiber wrap that has held up great over a few months of use. It kind of reminds me of Tilta's Tactical line of products, and I think it'll fit in well with those aesthetics-wise. Personally speaking, I like the approach of a wrapped battery versus those that have a glossy plastic, as the glossy plastic type tends to scratch and smudge with use. The exterior battery case is molded with grooves on either side and a bit of texture so you can grip it in different environments, and the top and the bottom rear of the battery contain cutouts to further reduce its footprint in your camera bag. The cutout on the top of the battery houses the monochrome OLED screen, which tells you all of the details of the battery that you need to know. Now, I like this approach where the screen is tilted upwards towards you with a cutout, as opposed to the batteries that have the screen just coming straight off the back. I like this because you're more than likely to have your camera at a lower height than eye level, meaning that you can see this screen more often without having to tip your battery or the entire rig towards your face while you're using it. Now let's talk about one of the big reasons that you would choose to buy this battery, which is the connections. One of the reasons that these batteries or these style of batteries have gotten so popular in the prosumer space is that they come with a variety of different modern connections which allow you to charge and power different types of devices sometimes at the same time. So the connections that come on the K&F Concepts V-mount battery, you'll get one USB-C port, one USB Type A port, and two D-tap ports, which is a more industry camera type of port. And finally, you'll get the standard V-mount BP port for cameras that use the V-mount battery spec and for breakout boxes or extensions, whatever you want to use to transfer that power into different types of connections. The only thing really missing here, and one of my complaints about the battery, is the lack of DC barrel ports, which are really common for powering accessories on a camera, like for a monitor. SmallRig's batteries have these, and I do say they are very nice to have. However, you can get cables to run D-tap into DC or power accessories in a different way, so it's not a deal breaker by any means. Now let's take a look at the screen on the battery. While I'm not a huge fan of these tiny monochrome screens that have graced most of the new batteries that have come out, I will say that they are a big improvement over the LED light system that we had on older styles of batteries. A quick press of the power button on the back of the battery lights up the screen, and from there you'll get to see all the information you need to know from your battery, including per port usage, total battery draw, and a timer that tells you how much time you have left on the battery before it goes flat. This screen stays illuminated for about 5 seconds before it turns off again to conserve power. Now let's talk about my experience using this battery as part of my camera kit for the last few months. If I could sum up my experience with this battery using just one word, I would say tremendous. Not because it blew me out of the water with its features or anything, but more because it gave me the standard V-mount battery experience at a much lower price than the competitors. With the K&F Concepts V-mount battery, I was able to charge and run my Sony FX3 camera system and my Sony A7S III camera system throughout long shoot days, keeping them alive and no worries that the cameras were going to die during important moments. In fact, many of the shoot days actually ended with me charging my phone using the battery too, which should tell you how long these things really do last. Absolutely excellent performance. Speaking of charging, this battery is great at charging small devices, including smartphones. This battery was able to charge my Samsung S20 Plus smartphone from 0 to 100% in just 46 minutes, while only getting slightly warm to the touch. Now, if you are looking for a battery just as a power bank, obviously don't go get a V-mount battery, as it's not really price comparable to some of the cheaper options out there. But what I will say is that if you're looking for a battery that can function as a battery for your camera and to charge your phone or small devices on the side, the K&F Concepts V-mount battery is really good at doing that. And speaking of value, let's talk about price. The K&F Concepts V-mount battery typically retails at $139.99 USD, with common promos taking it down to $99.99 USD, which is an absolutely phenomenal price for this battery. Compare that with SmallRig's super popular VB99, which is also a really great battery, but retails at $199.99, and it's easy for me to see which one is providing more value at a given price point. Now, after using the K&F V-mount battery for a few months, I reached out to K&F Concepts, and they very kindly gave me a discount code to share with my viewers. So, in the description below, I have a code for an extra 12% off if you're interested. So that is my review of the K&F Concepts V-mount battery. Honestly, kind of came out of left field for me, as I normally associate K&F Concepts with their glass and their photography tools and not necessarily their battery products. But I was pleasantly surprised, and I will keep using this battery as part of my kit. So thank you very much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or comments about the K&F V-mount battery or any other V-mount batteries of the type. The channel is approaching 3,000 subscribers, and for that, I thank you all very much. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next video.